You're listening to The Kickouts,
where we've just turned heel for the 7th time this month.
Well, it's a big show. Oh.
I am the face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
coming to you from Near FM Studios. Welcome to another edition of The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guide, right here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers. I'm Dave Cullen, and I'm joined by Aiden English impersonator Daragh Maher. Daragh, how are you this afternoon?
Alright!
It seems like a common trend to impersonate Aiden nowadays, doesn't it?
It's Daragh Day!
It's Daragh Day, is it?
Yes.
Daragh Day. Very confident show title.
Daragh Day.
Daragh is the best. Daragh number one.
D.
I said Aiden English impersonator, not Rusev impersonator. If you can sing operatically, I'd be impressed. Something I don't know. And it's funny because I just heard your stomach turn there.
My stomach turned at the
thoughts of a person.
Thoughts. My stomach thought about singing, and then it turned.
You're not a man who really usually sings, do you?
No, but a man who thinks with his stomach, obviously.
Well, no, I tell you what, this is a brilliant show. I should show you. And if you haven't heard it before, remember ages ago, like when The Simpsons had that episode of that film critic who came to Springfield over the film festival.
You were telling me about this at the weekend.
Yes, there's a show about this, and his stomach does communicate to him.
Okay.
You can, so it's a very funny show. You should check it out. So,
yeah.
Anyway, we're coming to you from Near FM Studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolacone. We'll be here giving you all the latest news, results, previews, rumours, and more from the world of professional wrestling. We'll be giving you all the latest news from the world of pro wrestling, both here and abroad. Reviewing the past week's action from WWE, from OTT and from Impact. We'll also be previewing events coming up from the likes of OTT, Courage, Phoenix, Main Stage Wrestling, and Low Blows. All that to come, but first we're going to be starting, as always, with the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
Sadly, there's only one place we could start, and it's sort of not just dominated wrestling news, but news in general. Like it's actually like it's funny because when we finished the show last week, right, and we were talking about it for the first time, and you certainly were discovering the news about it, right? Mm-hmm. I think that I came home that Saturday after playing the show, and it came up straight away on the 6-1 News here in Ireland, like about this whole situation. So we'll talk about the whole situation with WWE regarding the situation at this point. So obviously last week WWE issued a statement concerning the suspected murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. We are currently monitoring the situation, WWE said in a statement. Of course, Khashoggi, a Saudi journalist and columnist for America's Washington Post, who was a prominent critic of the Saudi government, disappeared and is believed to have been killed after entering Saudi Arabia's consulate at Istanbul, Turkey, on October 2nd to obtain paperwork he needed in order to marry his fiancée. The New York Times reports that Turkish security officials have concluded that Khashoggi was assassinated on orders from the highest level of the royal courts. Of course, Saudi officials have denied the allegations. Several United States senators, including Chris Murphy of WWE's home state of Connecticut, have urged WWE to rethink the Crown Jewels show taking place in November 2nd in Saudi Arabia. He says, quote, "I hope they will be rethinking their relationship with the kingdom, especially with respects to events coming up in the next few weeks. This is a brazen assault on the freedom of the press and a slap in the face of the United States if this murder occurs, as it seems like it did." Senator Bob Melendez of New Jersey, who told a report in the Independent Journal Review, believed that his relationship between Donald Trump and Lindsey McMahon, and that Trump should think about pressuring WWE not to do the show, saying, quote, "Private enterprise is private enterprise, different from a governmental entity, but because Lindsey McMahon is part of the president's cabinet, it feels it's the grey area where the administration really should give it some thought and maybe even prevail upon them not doing it." Of course, the Crown Jewel event on November 2nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, has been removed from WWE's website calendar of events ever since. At this point,
No, it hasn't.
it has. It was off the calendar.
It was. Then it was confirmed that was a glitch that shouldn't have happened and was brought back.
With Saudi Arabia mentioned on it.
Yep.
Right. Well, at this point, anyway, WWE have not made a further statement about it. As it stands, like, the event is still on WWE.com. You're actually right there with references to Saudi Arabia. They were removed, but then they're back on, apparently because it was a glitch, which doesn't make any sense. But there are huge ramifications of the show not taking place, and if ever the case is, perhaps it will be removed until a final decision is made. There's likely there could be any time, but here's an interesting bit, right? Okay, the Daily Beast in the UK have mentioned the idea of doing a third show in Manchester, England, in November 4th, since they have already taped shows on November 5th and 6th, and the arena doesn't have a date on the Sunday. It would give the UK first worldwide airing pay-per-view since 1992, of course, with SummerSlam in Wembley Stadium. There are many quick questions regarding both the show and the future of the deal of Saudi Arabia at this point of view. So, I mean, where do we begin? I mean, this is not just a wrestling issue. It affects something like WWE big time. Yeah,
WWE would obviously love to keep this to a wrestling news story only.
It's a huge story, and
it's a huge story, and it's getting mainstream attention.
Yes,
now.
And I was going to mention that it was mentioned on Last Week Tonight from John Oliver's show.
Exactly,
which is a huge political satire show. Like, it's like he's like up there with Jon Stewart now in my eyes now.
He's the full part about Saudi Arabia is actually up on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, he does give a really, really good insight into what's going on.
He explains everything.
Yeah, some news about Mr. Khashoggi's. At the moment, it's still classed as a disappearance,
right? Officially,
even though everyone realizes that it's not just a disappearance. He's unfortunately no longer on this earth. That latest news was that Saudi officials were actually in the process, I think it was 2 nights ago, could have even been last night, in the process of putting together a statement where they would acknowledge that Mr. Khashoggi died, but it was through a mistake in terms of he was being interrogated and the interrogation went wrong, in which he died, which we all would smell the BS from.
Let's be honest, like, that's just spinning the truth. Like, if they really say something like that, we don't know what actually happens. But here's the thing: the
only thing that they that could have, they could have said that, and a lot of people probably wouldn't have believed it either way. But it would have appeased sponsors. It would have appeased companies that have interest there. It would have appeased countries like America
and companies like WWE
that they can just point it and look, their statement said that, they made a mistake. But now that the Turkish officials have come out and said that they have the audio, they have the cameras as well to prove that that's not the case, then they can't obviously use that statement. Now, I had to say the statement was never released. It was rumoured to be going, but it never did.
It'll probably be out by the time this show's out, but
I don't know if it will or not.
We don't know if it will or not. That's the thing, we don't know like fully anything now. But all this, but here's the thing, before you go on, all this stuff that's going on, all this evidence that is provided by the Turkish officials, and if they come up and come some cock and ball story about how it was accidental, whatever the case, someone died. Someone died and it was on your hands. There's blood on your hands as a result of this. I
thought it was very interesting because the amount of the amount of attention that this story is getting,
it's global news
for someone that died and that was killed, is quite interesting, because you have no one ever goes after Saudi Arabia for the other things that they've done, for the other wars that they started. Like, they're currently in a bombing campaign against Yemen.
I heard,
have killed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. But nothing's ever said about it. And I can't remember who came up with the quote, but I really have to find out who did. But he says, If you kill thousands of people, they're a statistic. If you kill one person, that's main news. And that's what's happening right here. And when it comes to WWE and what they want to do, like I do feel very strongly about it. I didn't agree with them signing the deal in the first place. I didn't agree with them going over for the Greatest Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. I didn't agree with this show before all this stuff came out, because all of it was not even this, but it soured me towards Evolution next week. Is it next week or the week after?
It's
I think it's the week after.
Yeah, it's next week. Yeah,
next week. Yeah,
it's coming up. Yeah, Sunday week.
That I couldn't agree with that either, because because it's a cop out. Evolution is a cop out.
I know you've stated your reasons of that before, you know, because it seems like they're only this is now another pay-per-view out for as you mentioned as well, like, you know. The thing is though,
Dave, I know you said it seems, and I know, like, obviously I don't have the proof to say this is a cop out, but kind of have to look at this as a big business. They don't book things.
You're not the only person to think that, though, so I can't disagree with you.
Exactly. So,
or I can't deny your point, if it makes sense.
The fact that all this is going on, and they have this convention coming up soon. I think it's like, I can't remember what the name of the convention is, but a load of newspapers and news agencies in America have pulled out and said that they're not going.
Including Washington Post, including
New York Times.
God knows so many. Like, so
Washington Post was the newspaper that Mr. Khashoggi worked for as well.
So that's the
over
thing.
In America.
So here's the thing. Look at WWE's position right now. Surely they have to really think about, like, because let's think about it. They're under pressure mainstream. All these other big American companies are pulling the plug. That's it. Forget it.
The only thing, like, WWE are in probably the most difficult situation that they're in right now, not only because of what's happening in Saudi Arabia, but also because, and I'm going to add politics into this, because of Donald Trump. And the reasoning why I say this is because Linda McMahon is on Donald Trump's cabinet.
That's true.
If Donald Trump has said that everything's okay with Saudi Arabia from his end, WWE can't go against Donald Trump, because they're going against Linda McMahon, and Donald Trump says, well, I thought your family were on board with me. So there could be an issue there. You could be putting Linda's job at risk.
What, in the cabinets or
in the cabinet?
Would she even want to be in the cabinet then, if that's the case?
She's still there, so I'm guessing she does.
Yeah, but
like this, and like, I don't think, like, that is one reason. I think that's a minute reason. Obviously,
what's he going to do? What's he going to do?
Obviously, the main reason is money.
Yeah, but what's he going to do to Lindsay McMahon? Fire her?
I mean, she doesn't want to get fired. Like, it's a husband trying to support his wife.
Yeah, but anyway, go on, you were saying.
But it's one of those. It's fast becoming a breaking point, and we know the guys from Low Blows. I assume it was Rick that put up the statement. On the Low Blows page, said that they're not running a party for Crown Jewel because of what's going on,
and we applaud them for that, because it makes perfect sense.
And it does make perfect sense.
All reasons made sense. Like, it's not only is it in the air, but the fact of what's going on doesn't make any sense, and we applaud them for that. So we credit everyone from Low Blows wrestling parties for not doing it. Because believe me, we wouldn't want to go to it. Honest to God, we wouldn't go to it. We'll get into that in more detail later on. But yeah, like, at the end of the day, as a wrestling fan, it puts a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah,
and I think that,
and about the wrestlers themselves, some want to go there.
There is reported that a lot of wrestlers aren't comfortable going.
And can you blame them?
No.
It seems like it's up to unless Vince changes his mind. That's it. That's
the only person that can decide.
Yeah,
right now is Vince.
I hate to be Vince McMahon right now. Think about it, because
we'll get like. I think we were going to get onto it later on with the top 10, but I'll just say it now that
we'll go for it now.
There's a big issue that I had with a lot of wrestling fans at the moment, that if they're outraged or they don't like what WWE are doing by going to Saudi Arabia, why are you cheering him coming down the ramp at SmackDown 1000? You know, why are you singing along to No Chance in Hell?
That's a good point, actually. But they were booing when Undertaker mentioned it at there as well, and you meant
okay, but you had your chance. You had your chance to boo the person who's actually making the decision. But you decided to go ahead and sing with his theme song?
Maybe they're booing they're not booing the character as opposed to the real person. I know what you mean, but I don't know. We'll get onto it in detail later on. Like,
well, it's like I was going to say, like it is fast becoming a breaking point where that if WWE go to Saudi Arabia and continue this deal, I don't think myself personally be comfortable watching their product anymore.
In general, now.
In general,
I see.
I will cut my network subscription. I can't disagree with them going to Saudi Arabia. I feel so strongly against them going to Saudi Arabia, but while also giving them my money, I can't do that. Make this show an awful lot more interesting if half the contributors don't watch the main product we talk about. But
my stance with this at the moment is I won't turn my back on WWE because of this. Because in the day, let's think about this.
But if nothing's done after this one, that means that they think it's okay to keep going, and it's not.
But I don't support what they're doing over that. That specific part of the company.
They won't care if their money's not being touched. So if people start getting rid of their network subscription and stop going to events, which they kind of have stopped going to events, but then when their pocket is affected, that's when they have to be like, oh, all right, we've got to do something here.
Thank God for YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. Let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
I can't deny much. I can't deny that.
True. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
In the day, like, you know, it's Vince McMahon. We should look at this more than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
If he decides to go there, I won't support him. But that does not mean I will not support the other people who work very hard for the company. People who are from here in Ireland, like Becky Lynch on the roll of her life right now in SmackDown.
That would hurt me to not be able to see Becky on the best run of her career. But some things are just more important.
I get you. Than
one wrestler's current push.
We'll elaborate more on this as we talk about our top 10 a bit shortly.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we'll move on. We'll go back to actual wrestling news now. To the more details now on the Jericho cruise coming up.
Yes, broadcast plans have been announced for some of the matches that will be taking place on Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea cruise. It was announced last Friday that Jericho and the Young Bucks, the what was it? The Y2 Jackson or the, what were they called?
I think it was Y2 Jackson, yeah.
And what was the other one?
I can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's not the
Jeribucks? No. I honestly don't know.
Ah, damn it, what was it? It's all over. It's all over being the Elite. I only saw it the other day. They have like special scarves and everything. But anyway, it's Jericho and the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes and Marty Scurll in a 6-man tag. And Ring of Honor's Sea of Honor tournament will air as a special called Streaming for Vengeance at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, November 3rd. The special will air both on Fight TV and Honor Club. The cruise, of course, takes place October 27th to 31st and will sail from Miami, Florida to Nassau, Bahamas.
I actually saw some of the matches and got into detail with them in general, but the tournament's pretty good as well. It's like an 8-man tournament, like, so
it is Impact versus
seems like the American Indies.
Impact versus Ring of Honor, isn't it?
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
at the show as well, so interesting.
Should be interesting indeed.
Interesting, yeah.
I wonder. Well, that's great now, so we can see it streaming live. So, like, because you cannot help but not be curious about that 6-man tag in particular, especially how well. Obviously, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched Being the Elite in a while.
They put a new episode up this week.
I haven't watched the last 2.
Yeah.
So I mean to catch up, but no, you can't help but not be curious about that match. Yeah. So because, like, you know, they're so good at that. Like, that's the thing. And in a way, it makes makes life a bit easier when you think about, well, you know, we have great reason to not watch this anymore, but now we have a fantastic reason to watch this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Especially because this is like literally
other wrestling promotions. I'm curious now. Get my attention. Actually, speaking of different wrestling promotions.
Right.
I was speaking to a friend of the show on the way home today from work, Ian Holland.
All right.
And he put me on to, of course, we know about WXW in Germany, but they put a free match on their YouTube this week.
Okay.
Bobby Guns against Ilya Dragunov in the second night of their tag league. which was meant to be fantastic. He says it has the longest chant ever recorded in wrestling.
Oh yeah,
15 minutes long.
Wow,
the chant was.
That's the thing. Like, there's so much good wrestling out there, especially in the Europe. Like, there's like, you know, that's what I always say. WWE wrestling doesn't always stand with WWE. It never will. Even though it's the biggest, it's not the only thing. Like, there's New Japan. There's the great indies that are in Europe. The great indies in America.
Yeah.
Ireland is doing like OTT is on such a roll right now. Like, you know, especially we'll talk about it. Obviously, when we talk about the results. But like, you know, there's so much other options. Like, you know, so. Even this week's top 10s, like, you know, there's stuff from Japan we could have mentioned, like, as well, like, you know,
exactly.
The Super Junior Tag League started this week, and Shinjo and Bushi looking good. So they had a very good match against Sho and Yo at the first night. So
okay,
so we're close to bringing it up, but we'll get into it. But we'll finish off the news with reports concerning Kevin Owens, who underwent surgery on both his knees. WWE.com posted a injury update on Owens on Wednesday morning, noting that he underwent successful double knee surgery. Further details on this type of surgery Owens had wasn't provided. The article stated that no timetable has been released on KO's return. Owens tweeted the picture, a very funny one actually, where after having surgery and wrote, "I had a 2-for-1 sale going at the surgery store."
I did see it, it was pretty good.
Owens was written off TV at an angle where Bobby Lashley turned heel at the October 8th edition of Raw. Lashley defeated Owens and then continued to attack his knee after the match. Owens also had to be replaced in the Mixed Match Challenge Season 2, with Bobby Roode being announced as Natalia's new partner for the tournament. So, I mean, it's great that he has the surgery now, but again, we talked about this last week. I can't see him back for a while now, and if he is gone back for a while, I'd love to
I
come back
think
as a
that
face.
could be a 9-month to 12-month job.
Both
right
knees,
there. Yeah,
both knees. That's a pretty serious. Like, we heard all these knee injuries, but when was the last time you heard someone get both knees done at the same time?
I know. I have no idea.
I never heard of it personally.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's for us. Like, he's one of the most entertaining wrestlers
Austin
that we
had
have.
both his knees pretty much gone at one stage, but he got surgery on one, came back, and then had surgery on the other. Then he was wearing the double knee braces for years.
Austin. Austin. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. So I guess, but there you go. The Kevin, instead of going one, I suppose WWE have, and they have a big enough roster where they can get away with it. But then again, who's as entertaining as him?
Exactly.
Very little at the very least. Anyway, that's
perfect time for him to get an injury.
Oh, stop! Yeah, you're totally right, and that's probably why he actually asked for the surgery then. So
probably, yeah.
So he probably was the smartest of them all.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on now to our previews of the week.
What? Look at what we have here, folks.
Well, if you're really going to boycott WWE, there's plenty to sink your teeth on right here anyway. So
tell me.
Well, first of all, OTT will be having a live card at the Wexford Spiegel tent. It's an all-ages show happening this Sunday, October 21st. Tickets are available at wexfordspiegeltent.ticketsolve.com. Matches include Jordan Devlin to take on Charlie Sterling, a rematch between the Kings of the North against More Than Hype, Debbie Cattell to take on Valkyrie, Sean Guinness to take on Paddy M. In a fatal four-way, Michael May, Be Cool, LJ Cleary and Connor Andrews, Scotty Davis and Curtis Murray, the new NLW champion Curtis Murray. Congratulations to him. He won the title at the pre-show for Defiance 2. They'll be appearing at that card as well. Now, Courage Wrestling, we'll be both going to that. That'll be happening next Friday at the Rights Venue Swords in Dublin on Friday, October 26th. Tickets are still available at eventbrite.ie. A lot of good matches have been announced, especially this week. We have the Fatal 4-Way between Jazzy Gabbert, Casey Owens, Jeddah and Laura Di Matteo. What were we going to say there?
No, nothing. Nothing at all.
Paul London will take on TK Cooper. For the PWU title, Tucker will defend the title against Chris Ridgway. It's going to be a class match, actually.
Yeah.
Rhea O'Reilly take on Charlie Morgan. Club Rock Shanji and Dmitry Krakovic will take on the team of JTP, Tron and Luther Valentine. And in the fatal triple threat match, Phil Boyd's BT Gunn and Nathan Byrne will go against each other. Owen Richards is also set to appear on that card as well. So it's a stacked card, isn't it? So it's really good.
Great card.
To look forward to, yeah.
Really, really good card.
Phoenix Wrestling will also be happening on Friday, October 26th at the Kino in Cork for Tales from Parts Unknown. Tickets are still available at eventbrite.ie. Match announced includes J Money and APA, aka the Armstrongs, against Collar and Elbow and Debbie Cattell. Did you see the promo for that, actually?
They did, yeah.
It's sort of like they did that something for that before, I think.
They did the APA before, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, when Kate Debbie Cartel actually needed their help, she helped them, and now she's gone against them.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting.
Sean Guinness will take on Joey Felch 1-on-1. Michael May will set up his Big Win Mike's Big Win Open Challenge, so taking on anyone at the time. Katie Harvey, Amy Alonzi and Raven Creed will also have a triple threat match. It still hasn't been formally announced about Ricky Graham and Terry Thatcher yet.
Has.
I haven't seen a proper announcement for it yet.
I think I saw it floating around Instagram or something during the week.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. I can't confirm it anyway. But in the meantime, we'll just presume it's there anyway. Happening Sunday, October 28th, will be Ring of Horror Wrestling. They'll be happening at the Mainstage Wrestling Training Academy in Dublin. Tickets are available. They're available at the door. Excuse me. I think it's €10 to get in for that one. The matches announced includes Callum Black, Danny Cross and Scotty Davis to take on all 3 members of the Mongrels. Rebecca Reisner will take on Amy Alonzi. There'll be Fabulous Nikki, Terry Thatcher, Curtis Murray, Angel Cruz, Cowboy Jim West, Club Tropicana, Rough Stuff and Stephen Cavell all set to appear on that one. So it's a pretty good card there. And also, and finally happening on Monday, October 29th at Buskers in the Ball will be Low Blows No Spoiler Monday for WWE Evolution. Tickets are available again at eventbrite.ie, free for Low Blows Network subscribers. You'll be able to watch WWE Evolution in full the day after, which adds to a great atmosphere in Buskers as it always does. They'll be featuring retro gaming, which by the way, I don't know what the game is called. It's some sort of Japanese female wrestling game that's really, really old that they're using as their retro game.
Oh, really?
Because they've had ones, I think for Hell in a Cell, they had Hell in a Cell matches from SmackDown 2. And it's brilliant how they do that. Yeah. It's called Rumble Roses. Have you heard of that game?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
It's like these Japanese style, women's wrestling. It's very similar. Imagine Stardom in a video game. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it adds to element of, remember that game Dead or Alive? Yeah. Where the women, they're let's say they reveal a lot. Okay. Where are you getting at there, Dave? Not too much, but compared to today's wrestling, you know what I mean? Okay. Does that make sense?
Could you say they were boisterous?
What do you mean by boisterous?
Bounce?
I wasn't looking into that much detail, but...
yeah, right, you weren't. Liar.
I don't know. I don't think the graphics were that good for that game. Anyway, it also features pool, no Temple Bar prices for booze, food as well. Doors open at 6 p.m. Main card starts at 7:30. So,
did you see the announcement by OTT for their Belfast show today?
I did. Bonesaw against Walter.
What a match!
That's a very
what a match!
I'm very curious about that match.
Oh, I didn't think I'd ever want to see that match, but when I just popped up, yes,
it's like yeah, it's like because he's the biggest man from the Kings of the North, and it's a tougher challenge than Walter may think, you know.
Exactly. Walter or Bonesaw is just saying to Joe, "Give me Walter." And there you go.
There you go. Should be interesting to see what happens there. We'll talk about OTT Belfast as it gets closer until December.
Is it a title match? I don't think so.
It should be. Imagine it should be. It's in Belfast. It's Bonesaw's hometown. Make more sense to it.
It would.
We'll talk about that as it gets closer. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we will get started on our top 10 of the week right after this short break.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Oh my God! So close! He kicked out! He kicked out! He kicked out!
Tune in to The Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides, right here on 90.3 Near FM, covering all the latest news, results, previews, rumours, and more from the world of professional wrestling, as well as covering the wrestling scene right here in Ireland. Join us every Saturday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. right here on 90.3 Near FM.
In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grawlix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grawlix Podcast. Listen to it at grawlixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
We're back here on The Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides. Now, before we go on to our top 10, we figure we just mention this now anyway. Like, obviously, with regards to what we talked about earlier regarding the whole situation with WWE and Saudi and if this whole crown jewel thing is going on or not, we just feel ourselves like, obviously, Daragh, I know where you stand, and I agree with you to an extent. Like, if they go ahead with it, it isn't the most comfortable situation to talk about WWE in general. At this moment in time, we don't know anything. But at the same time, there's this World Cup that's happening that's associated with the crown jewel, or certainly the show in Saudi Arabia.
It's not a World Cup, though.
I know, it's 7 Americans and 1 Mexican American.
No, he was born in California. He's American.
8 Americans, so it's an American
It's
Cup,
a US Open.
pretty much. But anyway, but so we figure all this lead up in the meantime to this World Cup, we just feel like even, and in a way it's a shame because it includes Rey Mysterio's return, which could have been a talking point this week, and there was decent matches between the Shield and the Dogs of War, even though I feel at this stage you're getting a bit repetitive. At the same time, it still could be worth talking about, but whatever the case, we are not going to mention that on this show simply because it's leading up to an event which we are happy to talk about. To talk about in terms of what's going on and what they're dealing with it right now. But that doesn't mean we're going to talk about the actual events. We don't feel comfortable. We're not going to do it. Simple as that. And in a way, again, I feel bad for the wrestlers more than anything regarding the situation, but for the company itself, absolutely not. So, I'm sure you agree with me on this anyway. So
yeah. I don't want anything to do at the moment. I don't want anything to do with any WWE storyline relating to Crown Jewel. Yeah,
but thankfully there's a lot of stuff we can talk about that's nothing to do with Crown Jewel. So let's get straight to it now with our top 10 of the week. And unfortunately, it starts on a bit of a sad one. In at number 10 is from the Mae Young Classic and the unfortunate injury of Tegan Knox.
Yeah.
Now, and there was really good matches this week. So this week was the quarterfinals of the Mae Young Classic. Next week will be the semi-finals, and then the final will be Evolution. And so you had Toni Storm beating Kim Yang. You had Satomura beating...
what?
Kim Yim.
Maya Yim,
excuse me. Satomura beating Lacey Lane and Io Shirai beating Pizarro. But then Rhea Ripley advanced due to Knox's injury. And I don't know, it happened so early in the match as well.
Yeah, we obviously knew about the injury for a while, but yeah, it was hard to watch, and the YouTube video afterwards was even harder to watch.
Yeah.
For sitting in the chair, and she's absolutely distraught as you'd imagine. And Triple H comes up just trying to console her, but
yeah.
I had some words in her ear, and it didn't matter what the words were. It was probably nothing that could fully console her, and
you have to feel for her because she wasn't able to participate in last year's Mae Young Classic due to her knee injuries,
and then she did it on the other knee, and
she tried her best to go on with it anyway, but it was just too much for her in the end. After that drop kick, she said, "No, sorry, I can't do it anymore," and she was literally in tears. And there's nothing worse to watch in wrestling when someone goes down like that, and and certainly in her case, where she's had a history of knee injuries that stopped her from opportunities like this, as we mentioned, this is heartbreaking. So we obviously wish her all the best and more out of her recovery at the moment. Anyway, hopefully, I hope. Can you imagine if she comes back and ends up winning the title later on? Not to put pressure on her, but there'll certainly be a story in 3/4 if she comes back and becomes and does what she needs to do. But
it would be great if that could happen, but
we don't know obviously at this stage. So we'll move on anyway. In at number 9, now I know nothing about this, so I'll leave this to yourself, Daragh. The walkouts concerning Austin Aries at Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
No, I know little to nothing about this, so enlighten me.
Yeah. So the main event for Bound for Glory on Sunday was the current Impact Heavyweight Champion Austin Aries going up against Johnny Impact.
Right.
Sorry, I had to make sure I said the right Johnny there, because there's so many.
He's had so many Johnnies.
Johnny Nitro, Johnny this, Johnny that, But
he's a man with many Johnnies. What do you think I meant by that?
I'm just going to leave that there.
What do you think I meant by that?
I'm just going to leave that hanging. We're moving on, Dave. more.
Guys, go on.
It's about time you got one anyway.
That's the second one I mentioned in the show. I forgot what the first one is already, to be honest with you. But anyway, go on.
But in the week leading up to it, there was a big Twitter exchange between the two. And it was the usual, hyping up of a match in a promotion and stuff going at each other. But then, I think Austin took it a bit too far. He mentioned Johnny's attire to the ring, liking it to being a gay person, which then Johnny says, while it wouldn't upset me, I know why does it matter. Then Austin Aries had a go at Johnny's, and this is his quote, I didn't say this was what Austin Aries says: "Your husky wife."
Who's his wife again? That's Marlene, isn't it?
No.
Or they were going at ages ago.
No, it's like, what's her name? It's like Tara Valkyrie or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of Tara Valkyrie,
yeah. Which then obviously sent people going over it. It's like, why would you say such a...
Now, hang on a second. Did he say this in an actual promo? Or
no, it was over Twitter.
Oh, okay.
It's over Twitter. And then there was a press conference before Bound for Glory, which the two ran into each other, and then words were said again. He said he was gonna apologise, and he didn't apologise, and then they were gonna have a fight, which in the wrestling world you would think, okay, storyline, they're building up to this. We get to the main event of Bound for Glory, and for what I've heard, it's a really good event. I haven't watched it yet, I'll be honest with you. I've seen the main event, that was it.
Yeah.
Main event was pretty good. But Johnny Impact does his finisher. So is it Starship Pain or something it's called?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 wins the belt. As soon as the 3 count goes and the bell is gone, Austin Aries is up, standing up, out of the ring, and arguing with fans as he's going out of the ring, and he flipped off a section of the fans. Now, in that same section was Don Callis.
Right.
And now the rumour since then is that his contract has been terminated. First time I saw, I'll be honest, I thought it was all storyline. I don't know if this is how good at storytelling Don Callis has become, because he's got me and wondering, So, but yeah, it was a pretty extraordinary moment after the match.
Okay.
To see, obviously, you'd never see that.
And that's exactly why I think it could be a work, because that's the thing. They're challenging us to the point where it could be so real. And if it was really that personal, it wouldn't be on Twitter.
When you leave kayfabe that badly, is that the way you describe it, that badly?
That's modern wrestling nowadays.
You go so far away from kayfabe, where he's actually no-selling a move.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
In that case, yeah, that's probably not the best way. And if that's what the story is meant to, I personally wouldn't applaud that.
Yeah.
But
like, if this is part of the storyline, I don't agree with it. I think, or at
least that part anyway.
Yeah, I think I know they're trying to be different, but this was I think this was one step too far.
We'll see how things go anyway. We could be back next week for all we know. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. There is we're recording this on a Thursday. There is an episode of Impact tonight where we're going to hear from Johnny Impact. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know if Austin Aries is going to show up or not. We'll find out.
We honestly don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. In at number 8 from SmackDown 1000, we have new tag champions.
We do.
Cesaro and Sheamus are now 5-time tag team champions. It's their first SmackDown reign.
Five-time tag team champions.
Yeah, so well done to them. They beat the New Day on SmackDown thanks to a bit of help from the Big Show. He's turned heel and he's only been there a week. Can you believe it?
I know, right?
We shouldn't be surprised at this stage, but or besides that, it was a good overall match.
Yeah.
No, I just find it funny that it's already a heel turn. Where do you think that will go now with the Bar and the Big Show? Is that like a strong stable going forward, or it could be something?
Big Show is just the way he's acting afterwards, and he did an interview afterwards as well. It's like he's not caring. He's just like, yeah, all right.
Is what it is.
Guess I'll go with it. Yeah.
Just go with it. Just take whatever I was given to him, I guess.
It's probably going to lead to like a 6-man tag between them at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Probably at the Redacted event in the Redacted country.
What are you talking about? I have no idea. I don't recall what event you're talking about.
Exactly.
We'll move on to that point. In at number 7, also from SmackDown 1000, the Evolution reunion.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was...
I think the big talking point was obviously the Bautista.
Obviously.
But Randy Orton's reaction to it at the back.
Of course.
Did you see that?
He can't keep a straight face anymore, the man. And I think that's just funny. Like, you know, like, I remember someone saying, freaking out about the fact that Randy Orton's wearing pants.
Yeah.
Like, because we've seen him in his tights with his hoodie for God knows how long now. It's been a while since we've seen him in a suit.
We talk about it in general.
What?
SmackDown 1000.
Well, we'll get on to the next point is on SmackDown as well. Like, so.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it briefly after that. Like,
we'll talk about it in general after the last point made about it.
But on that point, anyway, it was all, oh, how are you? Oh, it's good to be back. Blah 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 blah. But that point in the end, oh well, Triple H, he's done everything except him.
So obviously they're setting up for a match, probably at Mania.
At Mania?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, no, I don't mind that. I honestly don't mind that. Like, once it's not main event or anything like that, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I've heard the worst. But no, it can't be. It can't be at this stage. Just like once it's not somewhere we don't want it to be, then that's the important thing. You know?
Yeah.
We feel like we're touching.
Sure, by the time WrestleMania comes around, I probably won't be watching it anyway anymore.
Who knows? In at number 6, going back to SmackDown again, the Cutting Edge, which involved more from Becky and Charlotte. And I have to admit, I love what Edge did here actually, because Edge said to Becky that he sympathises a lot of what she's going through, because she feels he himself felt he had to prove himself by doing the wrong things to get ahead, because he wasn't the John Cena at the time, I feel like. Yeah. But he made it. He pointed out, okay, you're making the wrong choice here. But I was like, well, I love myself, so screw that. So
no, she did like the double sort of the thing that Alexa Bliss did for a while as well last year, where she's like, or this year, so it's like, you're right, I don't like myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I know.
Just the lines, I think, were great as well. Just get out of my ring. Make sure you don't hurt your neck on the way out again.
That was cold.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, and then back and forth between Charlotte and
like Edge looked himself like he was trying not to be like, that was fantastic. I love it. He had to act as like, oh,
he's a good actor.
Well, he didn't get a role in Vikings for nothing.
Exactly. So he's doing well for himself right there. So, even now, like, I actually wish he would do the Cutting Edge more often, to be honest with you. Like, I know it's a special and it's SmackDown 1000 and so on and so forth, but he'd love to do that sort of thing. I watched that more, I have a better time watching that than Miz TV. That's just me now. As much as I love Miz, he doesn't need the Miz TV to get over. He's over enough. That's my opinion.
I still think he needs I don't think we need the fuck. Oh, sorry.
I didn't even hear that one.
Okay, that's okay. That's fine. As long as you didn't hear, that's the main thing. As long as we don't get any more of the what's our truth show?
The
Real Truth or something.
Truth TV. Truth TV is much better than Miz TV.
No.
It's much better. Well, the show has dance breaks. No, I meant it's not the greatest when Shane and Vincent and Stephanie are dancing. That I understand, but it's just the two of them.
It just gave Shane the excuse to dance with Carmella, really, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to our rest of our points, like, this was SmackDown 1000. So, like, what do you think of the show overall? Like,
I was a little disappointed.
In what way?
Now, first of all, I know there's an hour difference in it, but first of all, they ran over in a lot of stuff, because as far as I'm aware, the Taker promo was about 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
He had the quickest intro he's ever had in his life.
Yeah.
But when you compare it to what happened with Raw 1000, with the amount of people they had come back and showing up and stuff like that, I just thought it was a bit of a disappointment.
It was short and sweet, though. No?
It was short. I don't know if it's sweet.
They were looking for a lot more to put into it. The Rock, for example.
I think they were building up a lot more about this. There was a lot more build up for this, like SmackDown 1000, SmackDown 1000, SmackDown 1000. That's SmackDown 1000 just gone right there.
Yeah.
You didn't know. Obviously,
don't be having WWE specials about it, let's put it that way.
Yeah, obviously Vince McMahon's still salty with Chris Jericho, because he admitted on Twitter the other day that nobody even asked him to show up.
There you go.
Yeah, that was the Rock show as well. You don't even have
Yeah, like I'm if anything,
and we had to settle for a pre-recorded piece from John Cena. I know he's over in China filming a movie, but, or should I say JB Cena?
JB Cena. Yeah. Oh god. There you go. Oh god, he expects him in a white suit, a cowboy hat, and a limo with horns on it.
No, he'd have the cowboy hat.
Right.
He'd have the suit.
Right.
But on the back of the suit it would say, "You can't see me."
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll move on anyway.
And it wouldn't be a full suit. The trousers would cut off in the shorts. Yeah.
Oh, with runners on, stuff like that.
Yeah.
In at number 5, NXT this time, the return of Aleister Black.
Yeah, he's back.
So in the middle of
It's like the Amy Winehouse song. Back in black.
Literally. So it was in the middle of Nikki Cross and Bianca Belair, who are having a terrific rivalry at the moment. I'm really enjoying their matches they're having at the moment. Mm-hmm. And it was at a stalemate after a superplex. Blackout, he's there as he usually is. He's nailed down the ring.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross is just there, and of course Nikki has been all over NXT claiming to know who is the one responsible for attacking.
You don't still happen to have that sting that we had last week, do you?
What sting?
Nikki Cross.
Well, bear with me as we continue to talk about it, though.
Yeah, Aleister Black appears, and there was no mic, but you can sort of hear what he was saying, and he was basically, "Tell me." And Nikki Cross is most scared I've ever seen her in her life, and she crawls up to Aleister. For a wee second you think they were going to have a little kiss, which would be the weirdest couple in the world, and I'd love it, but I don't think Selena Vega would like that too much.
Selena Vega
and Aleister Black here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you
go. And she whispers into Aleister Black's ear, obviously, who the attacker is.
And he was so angry.
He was fuming. Angry. He was shaking.
He was breathing. He was breathing in anger, and he was breathing out fire.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Should also be mentioned that this week also was the tapings for NXT leading up to the War Games takeover.
Right.
So we found out a lot of things, one of which is who attacked Aleister Black, which we won't be those guys. We won't admit it.
No,
we won't be those guys.
We do not encourage spoilers in this show. No. Never have, never will. No. On that point, let's move on. In at number 4, the promo between Ronda Rousey and the Bellas on Raw. This is the only worthy thing to talk about Raw this week, by the way.
I wasn't a fan of it.
Now, why is that?
I thought it was lazy writing.
Explain.
The girls are having a rivalry about, you've never done anything in this business, and the only thing you did in this business was sleep with John Cena and Daniel Bryan.
Okay, how is that lazy though?
Come on, there has to be better ways.
Like what?
Of having a rivalry. There can be anything. Why'd you have to go and mention like that she slept with another wrestler? Why does that matter? That she had a relationship with the wrestler. Why does that matter?
The point is that Ronda Rousey in this promo was trying to explain, listen, I've broken door to door all this through everything I've ever done. Here's yourself, who is, well, they didn't just mention like stuff like that. They mentioned how they tried everything they could to stay relevant, in the sense where they tried to stay because of who they're married to or who were going out with at the time, by leeching their moves and stuff like that, and doing stuff like the reality TV. Here's the thing though, a lot of people on Twitter in particular were very up and down about this. Here's the thing, who is the executive producers of Total Bellas? The Bellas themselves.
Alrighty.
So they knew fully well that this was going to happen. So that's the thing. So if anyone says like, oh, how dare Ronda Rousey mention all this stuff like that, or how dare she slates the Divas section, listen, Nikki Cross has obviously encouraged it and obviously had no problem with her mentioning that, right?
Yeah.
For me, it just added a really good fuel to the fire going to their match for Evolution. Just as me personally.
I can't get behind that match. Like, how can you legitimately make a case for Nikki Bella putting up a better fight than the likes of Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss? How can you have Nikki Bella? How can you think that Nikki Bella is going to beat a former UFC champion? This is the really difficult thing with Ronda, as champion because of how they're booking her as basically the woman version of Brock Lesnar. If she has if you're playing off her background of being an MMA star, UFC champion, then you can't really. It's going to be really hard to legitimately. That's like a soundbite to keep. It's just right there.
I'm so not keeping that.
But to have a legitimate contender for the title, unless you bring in someone else that was in UFC, they're kind of cornering themselves, snookering themselves a little bit.
But it's intriguing in the sense, like, where here's the Bellas, who first of all it's 2 against 1. Which,
by the way, if they do twin magic one more time, I swear to God, I'm going to hit the roof.
Oh, this is so funny.
How can you do twin magic when someone got enhancement surgery and the other one didn't?
Oh, for God's sake! I don't even know. No, I don't think they're going to be doing that. Like, what's
the odds? What is the odds? What is the odds? At one point, they're going to try and do that.
No.
Yes, they will.
No.
Yes, they will. They've done it already. They're definitely.
They don't wear the same attire.
They're definitely.
For one, regardless of their enhancements.
A gentleman's bet right here, right now. A gentleman's bet right here, right now.
Right.
The loser buys the winner sandwich. How about that?
A sandwich.
A sandwich. All right. It's a bet for sandwich. They will try twin magic at the Evolution match at some point.
We just shook on it there.
Yeah.
Like, but listen, we can both claim right now. We shook on that, right?
Yep.
Okay, Grant. So we're on that. Okay, we'll finish on that. And
I can't wait to get my sandwich.
Straight to Tesco. And at number 3.
Yeah, I'm going for a fancy sandwich. Excuse me. You're going straight to Subway.
You never said what.
You're
sandwich.
Going straight to Subway.
You never said what sandwich.
Damn it.
And at number 3, NXT UK made its debut this week.
You could make me a sandwich. Actually, that'd be nicer. That'd be more intimate.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
NXT UK. On that note, you stop thinking about the sandwich.
That's a show title.
Oh God! Anyway, NXT UK. Here's what was awesome about this. It didn't like. It felt like it was what it was. If that makes sense. It was its own brand.
Was it was it the type of show that only podcasters and giffers would make or would watch?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that but at the same time, you know, it has its own identity as well. Like about it, like it feels separate from the other NXT or whatever else they have. It doesn't feel American. Yeah, that's what I like about it. Like, you know, so and what I really liked about it is that they incorporated cliffhangers from the previous show in June. They had the whole situation with the Coffees again and Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. They had Tony Storm. I think Tony Storm there as well had a good match. Pete Dunne, actually, that was another one. Noam Dar earned a title shot at the last event and had a very good match there. So some like I can't wait for everything going forward with it. Like, so should be interesting. So
okay,
like no more to be said about that really.
No, I don't think so.
And at number 2 now we didn't see this ourselves unfortunately, but we have to mention it. From Defiant, Raven Cree is becoming the new OTT Women's Champion.
Yes.
From what we heard, now I'm kicking myself not going, especially from what I've heard from the cards.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I was in a different country at the time.
Yeah, you were. Well, you're at Wembley Stadium.
I was in London.
Yep.
Had a great time, by the way, Dave. Thanks for asking.
I mentioned your hat when you came in.
What?
Never mind.
Did you?
Maybe.
No, you did, you liar.
But anyway,
liar.
Back to the match though. Like, a lot of people have said this is like one of the best women's matches, if not one of the best matches this year. Which annoys me more than else. And honestly, I am really looking forward to seeing how Raven gets on with her reign. Because
see, I thought I knew she was due to have a title soon because she's been fantastic. I thought it was going to be the intergender title on the Saturday, but unfortunately it wasn't the case. It was
I thought it could have been both titles at one stage.
Both titles would have been pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I think that's an accolade that only Martina's going to have.
I don't know if it should be something that only one person should have. Like, I don't know, it depends who it is, I suppose, but I don't know. I'm not saying it shouldn't be something that should be only attainable by one person, is what I'm trying to say, regardless of the character. This is my opinion.
Well, it just makes that achievement even better.
Yeah.
You know, it lofts it up there. Like being a Grand Slam champion used to be a thing.
Yeah.
You know, but now everybody does.
Yeah. Anyway, congratulations again, Raven. We look forward to. Actually, it was just announced actually recently on the December 2nd Contenders show. She'll be defending the title against Jordan Grace.
That's going to be a great match.
That's going to be a class match.
Great match.
Yeah, so look forward to that. But in at number 1 from OTT 4th anniversary, which overall was a fantastic show. But we have to talk about that main event. Will Ospreay challenging Walter for the OTT World Title.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The best, and I said it as soon as we got out of it.
Yeah.
The best main event OTT have done in the stadium.
I can't disagree with you. It really was. But like in general of matches this year, it's right up there.
Yeah.
Like
that's a match of the year contender.
Everyone's like, let's put it this way: it's hard to. Like you know, we talk about this I compare this match maybe to Jordan Devlin and Walter, but it's slightly edging it for me. Like I don't know why.
I
the
think
false finish in particular really added to it. Maybe
the multiple false finishes.
Well, that one in particular had to be restarted.
Oh, the foot on the rope. Yeah,
exactly.
I think. No, I think it is definitely the best.
Yeah.
I think it is definitely the best one they've had. I think it definitely does outdo, not by much, but yeah, I think it does outdo the Jordan and the Walter.
We have to talk about the other matches as well. Like there's some really good matches over there. Obviously, Kings of the North retained against More Than Hype. Very good match that was as well. How over was Satoshi Kojima?
So over. We didn't know this before the match started, but with this whole
Bread Club thing,
the whole Bread Club thing, yeah.
No, but I have to look more into it. I didn't even know there was a Bread Club thing going on as well. Very good match between Scotty, the Davises, if you like, Scotty and Mark.
The Davises, the family feud.
Big win for Scotty, by the way. So
big win, Scotty. You trying to say?
Big win.
You trying to take that away from Mick?
Yeah, at all. Big win for Scotty, not big win, Scotty. Putting words in my mouth again. The very good match between the Gymnasties and Angel Cruz and Jimmy Havoc was revealed as the surprise partner, but he didn't appear to be the best partner in the end after the end up costing the match. Like, you're not sure about that match yourself, you told me.
I think that when you coincide the build up with the finish, I just don't think it goes together.
Maybe.
The build up, and especially with Angel Cruz in his promos as well, we're saying like this is the end. This is the end. This ends.
At least it adds another
it didn't feel like an ending.
But it's a cliffhanger to a new rivalry now. Obviously, for this rivalry, it's sort of kind of strange. But it leads on to something else, which at least if it led to nothing, then there'd be more noise.
But you could, I don't know. I feel that for it being the end, I just think that it should have been the Angel Cruz was winning.
Yeah.
If you still wanted this whole thing of Jimmy Havoc going mental, sort of going after him, you could have done that after the match. But I don't know. Like, if we do get maybe another match out of it, who knows?
Tomohiro Ishii beat Kushida. The team of Naito, Evil and Sonata beats Strickland, Bandito and Fumita, and Suzuki beats Timothy Thatcher. How? Now, you cannot tell me, by the way, that Bandito and Fumita's team was not stuck in your head for the rest of the week.
It still is.
It's still there.
It still is.
There's a mate in my class,
and I'm making the executive decision right now.
What?
That's the music we're going out with on today's show.
All right,
you know,
that makes sense to me.
That is the music. It was fantastic.
One thing I have to say as well.
Actually, I have a question for you.
All right,
what was it like finally getting to see Naito in person?
Oh, I can die a happy man now.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to meet him, but listen, that's fine. But I got to meet Evil. He actually has very good English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you meet him?
Oh, they were taking photos at the where the merch is, like when you come in, like so.
Afterwards or before? Was it?
Afterwards.
But
Naito was so cramped with everybody, like, and for me, like, I'd rather not do it if there's too many people. Then again, I should have been more patient. But what can you do? He's going to say I've seen him wrestle live, so
exactly.
I'm a happy man. One thing I have to say before we move on, we talk about how great the Japanese wrestlers are at wrestling, but you see the likes of Kojima, obviously LIJ and Kushida, they were very charismatic in terms of what they did during the matches. The whole eating the bread, the whole antics from Kojima as well. Here's Kushida, who very uncharacteristically flipped off Ishii during the match. Like, they're very underrated when it comes to what they get up to charismatically, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think you mentioned it off air. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the point entirely, but I see where it's coming from. Where they have a more freedom on the indies.
Suzuki in particular, at the end of this match against Thatcher, fantastic match, by the way.
Those forearm shots.
That would kill another man. Thank God Timothy Thatcher's as tough as he is.
Yeah.
You know?
Even Suzuki to an extent too, because Thatcher was hitting him with something hard as well.
Yeah, but let's not forget it's Minoru Suzuki.
That is true. I know. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on. That's all our top.
Oh, can we make it one more special mention?
Of course.
The video package before the Angel Cruisers entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the uncut one?
No.
They released the uncut version.
Oh, that was uncut, was it?
No, that was cut.
Okay.
That was a edited version.
Oh.
They released a full, it's like 6.5 minutes long. They released it to YouTube today.
Okay.
I'd recommend seeing it, because you see the return of a certain Mr. Humperdinck.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Oh, God almighty, I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
Anyway, that's our top 10. Let's finish off our show now with our yes-nos.
Yes, no! Yes, no! Yes, no!
There's not too many this week, so we'll get straight to them. First of all, on the back of Impact, Austin Aries to return to WWE.
No.
Yeah, no way.
No way.
I thought that would be a long shot one. No, we don't want to speculate stories too much, but at the same time, no, he's there.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going back to WWE, I don't think, at the very least. Anyway,
God, no. I don't even know where he's going to go at this stage.
Have to see what happens. Drew McIntyre to get a further push.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is talking about his character specifically. We won't mention what happened.
Yeah.
But just based on what happened, do you think now it could be a case now where this is it?
Yeah. Yeah. They love him up there.
Yeah.
Love him. He's big. He's strong. He's got long hair. It's everything that Vince wants.
It's someone who could take Strowman.
He cleared Strowman out twice.
That's it.
Can definitely do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bautista and Triple H in the future.
Yeah. Why not?
WrestleMania?
See Big Dave come back.
Why not? For one more match.
Maybe WrestleMania.
Yeah, who knows. And finally, and this is gone back to what we talked about earlier, Crown Jewel to either be located to the UK or cancelled altogether.
No.
No.
I really...
We all hope it does.
They're going to have to make the decision really, really, really soon, because it's only 2-3 weeks away.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to. And it's unbelievable why they would go ahead and do this.
It's very sad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's... They're encouraging stopping free speech. They're encouraging total dictatorship. They're encouraging they're encouraging the murder of innocent people only voicing their opinions by doing this.
Or supporting or at least being associated with a business that does that, or a government that does that.
But if you associate with that, means you support what they do, even during this.
Well, either that or you just like the money too much. Let's be honest. Like if it's not what they support doing, it's what they're paid, and it's what they're paid to not even talk about.
I can understand why the likes of Donald Trump can continue to support Saudi Arabia, because that's what he wants in America. He wants to be the Mohammed bin Salman. He wants to be the Vladimir Putin. He wants to be the Kim Jong-un. He wants to be the guy in charge where what he does and what he says, you have to go by. He wants to make sure he'd abolish voting for presidents tomorrow if he could, so he can stay in office till he dies and have a total dictatorship. He does that. Fine on him. Like, I'm glad I don't live in America, because it'd be a very scary time to live in America if that was the case. But one of the things I do like, and I want to continue to watch, now like is a strong word at the moment for some of their stuff, but is WWE. But I'm not going to support an industry that condones what has been done. So it's a very sad sort of topic to talk about, and I hate talking about it.
I agree.
But it's got to be talked about.
Yeah, you're right. So, no, I don't like this talking about this as much as you do either. But at the same time,
yeah. Play the Tequila song and make me feel happy.
again, I'm well. Before I was gonna live in hope and think surely they have to see points. There's too much pressure on them.
Hopefully, common sense.
Regardless how much money they lose, they've lost millions regardless already.
Yeah,
deal with it.
Yeah.
Make this be a lesson to you and move on. End of story. On that plea of hope, that's all the time for we have this week on The Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guide, right here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out all our podcast content on Podbeam, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. Check out my Twitter at Dave Bandana and Dara's at
Mars Bar.
We are going to need to show on at high points because you're right. This has been stuck in my head, this song, all week. One of my classmates in college, he was there for it as well, and he's been singing this a couple of times in class. I'm like, it's stuck on your head too. You're not helping. So obviously we're going to leave with Bandito from his infamous Tequila theme song from OTT. Leaving a happy note. And to be fair, it has, besides this really horrible thing that's happening over there, we had so much to talk about wrestling wise. It was very positive. Obviously there's been bad news as well here and there, that we like the Tina Knox singing.
The thought just floated into my head.
What?
You know how it's like the song, obviously it's kind of like a Macarena style song,
yeah.
You know, and then it has obviously Tequila. If it was Guinness and if it was Ireland, like if say Dave, me and you were becoming a tag team and we went over to Mexico and we wanted to have like a stereotypical Irish song, it would be like with a Bowron and like diddle 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 diddle, pint of Guinness, diddle 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 diddle, pint of Guinness.
You remember that?
Diddle 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 diddle, pint of mild.
I'll do even better. Remember that theme song that was on that Guinness ad with that guy who was dancing around that pint?
Yes.
Do.
That's the song.
Do.
That's the song. And then just during the end of it, pint of Guinness.
Oh, we'll leave on that happy thought. Anyway, we'll be back next week anyway. Like we have more stuff to talk about regarding all pro wrestling. Like there'll be, I don't even know what to, I'm so flustered after all that stuff, to be honest with you. Until next week, I've been Dave Cullen, he's been Daragh Maher. This has been The Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guide. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe.
Tequila.